Welcome back to Growing in the City, where we provide gardening tips to help you have a more successful growing season.
And now, houseplants. So today we're going to be talking about a plant that everyone loves to love. That is the Monstera Deliciosa, also known as a Swiss cheese plant or a split-leaf philodendron.
And today, Justine is going to share some keys to help make sure that your Monstera is healthy and growing. Coming up.
Hey now, take a step outside and seize the day now.
The Monstera Deliciosa is a plant that is very easy to grow. It'll grow in many different environments, and today I'm going to talk about a few points to kind of help it grow a little better, stay healthy with optimal growing conditions. So a general rule that I like to use when placing my Monsteras is if their leaves can see the sky, they are probably getting adequate light. It does prefer medium to bright indirect light. I do have my Monsteras as well as my variegated Monstera that I have right here. I have them in a north-facing window as well as an east-facing window. So in the morning, it gets morning sunlight directly on its leaves. A morning sunlight is not as strong as the afternoon or the evening. So I think that for my plants, it enjoys that. It's not very picky. You can put it in low light and it'll survive fine. But of course, if you want it to grow quickly and just keep this nice green, it does prefer more bright light. Number 2 is my watering schedule. So I pretty much, I would say I go about a week before I water again. I do use a moisture meter, but sometimes I just kind of take my finger, I stick it into the soil. Normally you want to water again when the top inch is dry, but I like to wait a little bit longer than that. Just because when the Monsteras get into bigger pots, I feel like the soil doesn't dry out as fast, so I like to let it dry out a little bit more until I do water it. With that being said, we're going to talk about growing mediums. So the Monstera Deliciosa, it likes a very chunky soil, very well draining, but it still wants to retain a little bit of moisture. So what I use for my soil is cocoa coir, perlite. I also use cocoa chips, worm castings, and I kind of just mix it up in there. I use more perlite so that it'll drain better, and just so the soil doesn't get so compacted together and it's a little more loose and free-flowing, so the water just drains really quickly. So another growing medium that you could try out is LECA. I do have my variegated Monstera growing in LECA. She absolutely loves it. I just repotted her about a month ago, and she started to grow a new leaf around the 2-week mark. So today, since we are getting close to it, we are gonna do a flush and refill its nutrient rotor. I will have that in another video in case you are interested in doing semi-hydroponics, and yeah, so we'll go over that later. If you have any questions or any other tips for me or things that I've worked out for you with growing your Monsteras, please be sure to leave a comment below because I would love to hear new tips. But when you are ready to repot, it's a good idea to give it a little pole to climb onto, because what Monsteras are, they are a vining plant. They do like to spread out wide open with their huge, humongous, beautiful leaves, but they also like to climb up. And when you think of their natural habitat being in a rainforest, a jungle, they like to grow up trees. The reason why they're growing up trees is because at the top of the canopy is where all the sun is. So when they get up to there and as they get closer, their leaves tend to get bigger. So that's why we recommend that you add a moss pole any kind of pole would do fine. They like moss poles because the moss stays a little bit moist, so their aerial roots tend to grow into it. But you could definitely train it to wrap around any kind of pole. For this pole, I just took PVC pipe. I like to use PVC because it doesn't break down in water, and you know how your soil is going to stay moist a lot. And I also took some natural rope and I just kind of wound it around the pole like that, and then I used some Velcro plant tape to kind of secure one of the branches to it, just to train it to go up this. For my variegated Monstera, I did create a moss pole. It actually loves it. Its aerial roots are growing right into it, so that's pretty awesome. The next thing I want to go over is humidity. Basically with humidity is if you are comfortable in your home, then it's probably comfortable as well. But I like to keep my humidity around 60 or higher. And the way I do that is just by running a humidifier. It is running 24/7, and it kind of, I do like to let it drop to maybe like 55. I like to have it go up to around, you know, in the 70s.
Another way to boost humidity is to create a pebble tray and fill it with water. As it evaporates, it creates a little more humid environment. Also, grouping your plants together will create a little more humidity just because of the moisture in the soil.
These plants will grow well even if you don't have really high humidity in your home. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, leave your comments below, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks and have a great day.